I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Next as I have is the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. BJ's not here today. He's at ISAC meeting, so it's just the two of us, if anybody was wondering. Next is the approval of the minutes.
And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last week's meeting.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now is the approval of claims for payment.
I will make a motion to approve the claims for payment for this week.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now I have is change status in Sheriff's Office.
I will make a motion to approve the change of status for the hiring of a permanent part-time correctional officer, Matthew Noel Gagny?
How you pronounce that one, Dave?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. The effective date is January 18th, 17.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Oh, and the salary is at $12.84 an hour.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now I have Hanson Family Hospital's annual update. If you guys want to come up here and
Yeah, thank
give
you.
a speech.
Certainly really appreciate your time today. We want to kind of give you our annual update. So for our year in review, we did go live on electronic medical record, and we were so happy to close the door on 2016, but we really are starting to right side from that. We also were able to experience the change over to managed care organizations with the Medicaid expansion. I don't think my comments about that would be any different than any other organization. It's been very difficult, and financially it has had a very strong negative impact with us, and we're still working through the issues with those organizations regarding physician credentialing and being able to get care for patients. So nothing special to Hanson Family Hospital, just what it is, I think, for everybody. We did bring on 2 new physicians this year, which we were very excited about. Both of them are family practice. One of them does family practice OB. So we have one in Iowa Falls, Dr. Waters, and then Dr. Hannah Carlson in Ackley Medical Center. From a financial standpoint, I think what's really important is we met all our bond covenants. Everything is being paid as it should be paid. We still have all our finances, tucked away for a year's worth of payment. So Diane, our new CFO, is in just a minute going to give you more of a summary, but we're pleased where we landed. Our net position was positive, not by a lot, but I'm going to take that after the year that we had. This year, some of our focus has been with access. We've been doing some quick care, which has been well received. We're moving into population health, which has to do with preventative health care and meeting quality measures, because part of our reimbursement is at risk for that. So we're changing over to that model. From an organization standpoint, heightened process on how we do our codes. We're moving to plain language codes. We do want to do a tabletop exercise this year. We think it's time to do that. And then some urgency around some safety. We've had some situations that have been challenging, some of them having to do with patients who are hard to manage. And so we've really had to rely on the help of Iowa Falls or Hardin County. The officers respond timely, but we're putting a lot of work and effort into some training throughout the organization to how we can better manage those situations, and looking for a cooperative process for everybody. So, Diane, if you'd like to come up and kind of walk through some of the finances.
So I did have a copy of it sent to the organization, I'm not sure, but I did bring an extra copy if you want to take a peek at it while I'm highlighting a few things out of there. We did have a presentation to our board at their last meeting, and so that's where we're at. For the year ended 2016, our operating revenue was down a little bit.
What page are you on, so we don't have to
I'm
keep
on page
flipping?
15.
Okay.
So I'm looking at our statement of revenue, expense, and change in financial position. Our operating revenues, as I was saying, are down a little bit from where we were at in 2015. We are down by about 0.4% if we exclude the meaningful use that was included in 2015. We had a meaningful use incentive payment of about $1.5 million that was included in 2015 related to our electronic health record system and the implementation, and the fact that we met all of our goals related to financial reporting and clinical information for that. If you look at our operating income for the year, we are at a negative $6,000. We actually were able to hold the line on our operating expenses when you compare it to 2015, which is really good for most organizations. Most organizations will see an increase from year to year in operating expenses. Our non-operating revenues included a net gain and loss from affiliated organizations, and we had two organizations that impact that. One of those is the Greenbelt Home Care. That had a negative impact of just over $238,000 that it was included, and we have Iowa Falls Clinic, which had a positive impact of $117,000. Both of those numbers are included in that negative $120,000 number in the middle of the page there. So from an operational perspective, we had an excess or a loss of revenues over expenses of $52,000 for the year. We also had capital contributions from our foundation of over $432,000. So as the bottom line for the organization, we were at $380,211, which is about a 1.5% operating margin, which is very good for comparison to other critical access hospitals. We also made a transfer to the city of $350,000, which was part of the obligation that we had related to the old hospital site. And so we had a net increase of $30,211 for the fiscal year end, June 30th, 2016. I'm also going to go to page 12.
On that old hospital site, that contribution you made, that was money that was set aside prior to the construction of the new building, correct? Okay.
So as we look at our balance sheet, page 12, probably an important piece for Hardin County particularly is related to the cash and investments and certificates of deposits and where we're at with a cash perspective. Our cash increased by over $1.6 million from 2015 to 2016, which puts us in a much better financial position and makes it easier for us to meet those debt covenants. As Sherelle was talking about, there are two specific debt covenants that we are required to abide by. One of those is the total days cash on hand, and the minimum requirement for that is 60 days, and we were at 90 days. And then the debt service coverage ratio, which is a requirement of 1.25, and we were at 1.5. So we clearly met both of those without any issues or problems. And I think given that, that's probably where to leave that. Do you have any questions?
I don't, but I would open it up for anybody for questions, if they have any. Do you have any questions? Well, thank you.
Thank you
Sounds
for
good.
your time and support. wouldn't be here without you, so thank you.
I know some of that's been a struggle, because, I mean, we've heard that through Greenbelt Home Care too, as far as some of the struggles with those, the electronic.
Greenbelt's not any different than anybody else
Right.
with that, and they've been working hard on it, so.
MCOs, yep, okay, good.
Well, thank you. Next I have is the approval of sheriffs and auditors deputies. I got Dave here.
Yes, sir.
Who you want approved as your deputies?
You want me to name them all off?
She wants you on screen.
I can't, you won't be able to hear you.
That's quite all right. I've got James Holmes, Rodney Stoner, Josh Nelson, William Rahm, Courtney Nakazo, Mitch Capel, Lance Lemke, Edward Lempley, Jeff Brenneman, and Daniel Wegg, who I'd like to appoint as deputies.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the listed deputies for the sheriff's department.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I have the auditor's deputies. She's unable to be here today, so why don't we look at tabling that till next week?
Okay. I'll make a motion to table the appointment of the auditor deputies until next week.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next I have is the treasurer's semi-annual report. Michelle's here. You want to say anything on this?
Just everything is, as you can see, in order. Our fund balance is good and all accounts are balanced.
Sounds good.
All right, good. I'll make a motion to approve the county treasurer's semi-annual report for the period of July 1st through December 31st, 2016.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Now I have the abatement of taxes per court order for abandoned property.
These are all properties that have had the taxes abated. They're all in the city of Iowa Falls, and it's due to a court order. So I'll make a motion to approve those abatements.
I will second that motion. Any discussion? How many do we have?
2, 3, 4,
Five.
5.
There's
Five of them.
5 abatements.
2 properties,
Okay,
but
okay,
5 total with the different years.
okay. Oh, all right.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I have no utility permits. Secondary roads are out on the road scraping ice. Any other business? Hearing none, I can ask for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're adjourned.